Back at it again, and we've got to talk about the Speaker of the House race once again. And I'm sure some of you are probably like, really? Again? I mean, this is big news, right? This is part of the news and the latest developments on the Speaker of the House race. But before we get into that, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all right? All that helps out with the YouTube algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, let's dive in.
All right, well, we've got some breaking news. Tom Emmer, who just got a majority of the Republican conference in his effort for Speaker, has just dropped out, we are told, by our next guest, our friend, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie, that's a piece of high drama. I didn't know. I'm sitting up here in this little fishbowl, and we heard you telling our producers, thank you for it. Can you just quickly describe the story?
Yes, the news just broke that Tom Emmer is out of the race for Speaker of the House, and I think it's good news. I couldn't support Tom Emmer. He's a nice guy. He's someone I do like as a person, but I couldn't support him because of his voting record, Larry. We need a Speaker of the House that reflects the values and the views of Republican voters across the country, and they support President Trump, and they support his agenda, and Tom Emmer does not. His voting record, he voted...
So, yeah. You heard that there. Shout out to MTG, because that's exactly what I want to hear. I'm sure you guys would like to hear that as well. You know, Republicans actually representing us. And we want Uncle Trump, right? So if you're not doing what, you know, is in line with that, right? Which for a while, they tried to go a different direction. And even still, I don't feel like they completely want to get in line with what we want, because obviously we had Jim Jordan, who a lot of us wanted. The phones were ringing and buzzing off the hook, but the establishment, of course, pushed back and said no. Then I feel like a lot of people wanted Byron, including myself, right? And, you know, Byron, he got some votes, but obviously he didn't get enough votes. Tom Emmer won the first go round, but obviously he dropped out now. And there was a reason why I feel he dropped out. Check out this post from Uncle Trump. Let's read this. This is from Donald Trump on Truth Social. I have many wonderful friends wanting to be Speaker of the House, and some are truly great warriors. Rhino Tom Emmer, who I do not know well, is not one of them. He never respected the power of a Trump endorsement or the breadth and the scope of MAGA, Make America Great Again. He fought me all the way and actually spent more time defending Ilhan Omar than he did me. He is totally out of touch with the Republican voters. I believe he is now... Hold on, I forgot to turn my mic on. My camera on. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I believe he has now learned his lesson because he is saying that he is pro-Trump all the way. Interesting. Interesting. He's saying he's pro-Trump now, which, listen, I'm not going to knock him for that, because that's what we want. See, and this is the thing, guys. We have to pick our battles. We have to be strategic in how we go about a lot of this stuff, because I feel like the initial reaction, because my initial reaction, like my first like split second thought, look at this guy, you know? But I think when people switch for the better, we have to accept them. We have to accept them. When Democrats say, hey, I can't vote for Joe Biden. I can't do it. We should try to extend an olive branch to him. Hey, come on over to our side, brother or sister. Vote for Trump. I know things haven't gone well on your side of the political aisle, and I'm not going to knock you. You made a mistake. Let's correct it this time around, right? Because, well, I've got another video coming that I think you guys are really going to like. That's all I'll say. I'll leave that there. But let's get back to reading this here. Where are we at? But who can be sure? Has he only changed because that's what it takes to win? The Republican Party cannot take that chance, because that's not where the America First voters are. Voting for a globalist rhino like Tom Emmer would be a tragic mistake. So, you know, Trump released that statement, and obviously, as you saw there, Tom Emmer dropped out. But check out what else Trump had to say.
Sorry, Mr. President, are you dropped his bid as Speaker just hours after he voted for his nothing? Do you believe you had an impact there? And who would you like to see it?
So if you couldn't hear that, which it's kind of, it's a little difficult to hear, she told him that Tom Emmer dropped out hours after he released the statement, and she asked him how he feels about it and who he thinks should be the next Speaker of the House.
I absolutely must have had an impact, because as soon as I did the unendorsement, and it was never an endorsement, I was never treated particularly well by him, as you probably have heard, and he wasn't MAGA. Most people are MAGA in the Republican Party. They want to see our country be great again. So I disagreed with him on a lot of things over the years, and I assume it had a big impact. I wrote a note. I wrote a petition called an endorsement of maybe anybody else, and I haven't made a determination on anything else. But we have some very good people. We have some really great people, and we're not going to go through the list right now, but we do have some great people.
Do you support Byron Donalds?
I like Byron very much. I like not all of them very much. I was not happy with the one that seemed to be gaining speed. I disagreed with him very much on globalism and on many other things, and that's the way it turned out. I'm for America First. America First is very important to me. I don't think he was for America First. And so it looks like he dropped out. Did he just drop out today?
Yeah, he dropped out.
Well, that was quick. That was very quick. But we have some great people, and one of them will be chosen. And when they're chosen, I think they'll be a great speaker. We have 4 or 5 that want it. They're warriors, they're smart, and they love our country. As far as this proceeding today, this is, again, this is the trial that should have never been brought. This is the case that shouldn't have been brought.
So we'll end that there because he gets into, some other stuff, the trial, obviously. So, yeah, and I know the left is going to try to spin that. Trump is controlling the Republican Party, blah, 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 blah. You know how the left does, right? But also, it's kind of hypocritical when they do that, because we all know they're going to. Because they always talk about democracy. Democracy, democracy, democracy. The people decide. It's the people's choice. It's the people's house. Well, the people have decided at an alarming rate, at over a 60% clip. Trump is polling at over 60% in the last poll that I saw in the primaries. So we have decided. That's democracy for you. We have decided as a Republican Party, we want Trump, okay? If Trump says no, now, obviously, Trump's statement isn't the end-all, be-all. We can all think for ourselves. But as you can see here, it's not like Tom Emmer was the greatest guy in the world. Okay, he has a D grade in terms of his liberty score. See, he voted with liberals 31% of the time. Now, obviously, that's better than Kevin McCarthy down here at the bottom at 46%. And even Patrick McHenry, who's the pro temp speaker, at 46%. They're actually tied right there. Even Steve Scalise was at 42%. You guys notice something? Look at all these guys that they tried to put out in front of us. McCarthy, Henry, Scalise. Look at their grades. The establishment, man, they some slithery snakes. Even Tom Emmer, yes, he's better, but come on. The top 2 guys got the boot, basically. These are the guys that should be, Speaker of the House, Byron or Jim. Obviously, we know what happened with Jim, and Byron didn't garner. I think the highest number of votes that Byron got, I want to say, was just short of 30, I believe. Well, good news, guys. Well, somewhat good news. Depends. We shall see. It's better news than we had previously. But it seems the Republicans have decided on the next Speaker of the House. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Representative Mike Johnson.
We want to thank all the press for waiting. It's been quite a process. Democracy is messy sometimes, but it is our system. This conference that you see, this House Republican majority, is united. I'm honored to have the support of my colleagues, and what they understand about this is servant leadership. We're going to serve the people of this country. We're going to restore their faith in this Congress, this institution of government. America is the last best hope of man on the earth. Abraham Lincoln said it, Ronald Reagan used to remind us all the time, and we're here to remind you of that again. We're going to restore your trust in what we do here. You're going to see a new form of government, and we are going to move this quickly. This group here is ready to govern, and we're going to govern well. We're going to do what's right by the people. And I believe that people are going to reward that next year. But we have a lot of big priorities ahead of us right now. The world is on fire. We stand with our ally, Israel. We have a very busy agenda. We have appropriations bills to get through the process, but you are going to see this group working like a well-oiled machine. We owe that to the American people. The people up here have been sent here by the people of this country to do this job, and we are going to do it well. We commit that to you. Thank you for allowing us to go through the process and get to this. It was worth it, and we are going to serve you well. The intention is to go to the House floor tomorrow and make this official, and so we will be doing that. And if there are any questions, we'll take a couple, but we're all pretty weary. What's that? The intention is to go at noon tomorrow. I don't know. All of them. Yeah, we have some folks absent, and I'll be working with them tonight. So. I don't know what the final total was. We're united. We're united. There were no votes against.
Mr. Johnson, you helped lead the efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Will you
Next question. Next question. I'm very confident. One more question?
Yeah, why don't you give more room for the cameras, not the still, but yeah. Love her. I love it.
Maria Salazar is our media director.
You've asked your question.
You asked your question. Go away.
We're not doing policy tonight. Any other questions? Other than that, thank you for being here. Let's go.
So, yeah, you saw it there. It seems the Republicans have settled on Mike Johnson, who isn't great, okay? He has a C rating on his Liberty score, but it's a lot better than what the establishment wanted previously. It's not exactly what we wanted. Now, if you want to say, hey, he's a compromise, I get it, even though it's supposed to be the will of the people. We shall see, though. We shall see. I mean, I have come across some clips that I kind of like from Rep. Mike Johnson, and I'll run a couple of those for you. Check them out here.
So you were obviously watching there at the State of the Union. When you saw the speaker rip the president's speech into pieces, did you take that as a sign of politeness, as an expression of kindness and friendship?
No, of course not. I mean, it was a shameful display. It was stunning, really, to many members sitting in the House. It was totally unprecedented. It was shameless, and it was also unlawful, Tucker. You know, a lot of people have been talking about this the last 48 hours, and I did a little legal memo to point out to my colleagues that she actually committed a felony when she tore that paper up. It wasn't just any copy of the State of the Union address. It was the copy, the original. And we have over 2 centuries of custom and tradition, and of course the Constitution that calls for the State of the Union address, that when the president delivers the copies to those top legal officers, the 2 top legislative officers in that co-equal branch of government, those are the official documents of the House, and if you tear those up, you violated a specific statute in the criminal code.
So you were obviously...
Of course, nothing ever came of that, of course, you know, because Democrats can do whatever they want to, whenever they want to, and nothing ever happens. But here's also another clip from Rep. Mike Johnson. Check it out.
Members have called for removal based on a myriad of objections against this president. Representative Al Green of Texas filed a resolution in the House for impeachment after Trump called for players kneeling during the national anthem to be fired. I mean, come on. You don't like his political positions, great, but you can't impeach a president because you don't like him. That's not how this system works. We're in a constitutional republic. There are rules here.
Sir.
There are standards. You don't get to make that decision. The voters in this country do. And we have an election coming up in about 11 months. Let the people decide. Don't put yourselves in their place. You don't have the right to do it. You're not following the proper procedure. You're not doing this the right way. It's a rarely used constitutional device in our history. It's supposed to be. Professor Turley ended this way, and I will too. He said, quote, despite my disagreement with many of President Trump's policies and statements, impeachment was never intended to be used as a midterm corrective option for a divisive or unpopular leader, unquote. Look, we get it. You don't like him. That doesn't mean you can banish him from the marketplace. You can't send him out of his businesses and say he can't hold a position of honor or trust. You don't get the right to do that. The people of this country do. We live in a republic.
So, what do you guys think? Now, I'll show you his Liberty score. Okay, here we go. You can see it here on the screen. It is a C right above Tom Emmer right there. Well, I guess you can't really even see. Okay, there we go. That's better. That's much better. There we go. Let me take my big old head out of the way so y'all can see the whole thing. So there you have it. C 26% with liberals. But as you guys just saw those two clips, you know, I don't know. How you guys feeling? But it definitely seems like Representative Mike Johnson is going to be the guy. You saw the clip there, which is why I showed you guys. Everybody was there cheering. He said he was confident. He's got the votes. No issues. He said we stand united. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think more than likely, by the time this video is being released, we will see Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House. But as always, let me know your thoughts, your opinions on this in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in as always. I appreciate your time. Peace and love, family. I'm out.